Far away in the vast space, there was a small blue planet called Yalara. The planet was peaceful and full of life, but the people who lived there were facing a big problem. A strange sickness had come to the planet. It was new, and no one knew how to stop it. Many people were sick, but none were more worried than a young mother named Lyra. Lyra held her baby close. The baby was weak and could barely breathe. Tears fell from Lyra's eyes as she looked at her tiny child. She wanted to do everything to save her baby, but she had no medicine. The medicine that could help was rare and only found in a far place, controlled by a powerful galactic empire. The empire did not care much about small planets like Yalara. They were busy with their own wars and plans. Lyra sat outside her small home, looking up at the stars. She hoped someone, anyone, would hear her cry for help. She used her communicator to send a message, a plea for medicine to save her baby's life. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "Please, anyone, help me save my child." The message was sent into space, hoping to reach a kind soul who could answer. Days passed, but no reply came. Lyra's hope grew smaller with each moment. The baby's breathing became weaker, and Lyra felt her heart break. She whispered, "Please, please don't leave me." Far away, beyond the star systems, the message finally reached the ears of a human captain. His name was Jack. Jack was a simple man, a kind man. He commanded a small ship called the Horizon. Unlike many others, Jack believed that every life mattered, no matter where it came from. Jack was traveling through space when his ship picked up Lyra's message. He listened carefully to her words, feeling a deep pain in his heart. He knew that this was more than just a call for help, it was a call for hope. Jack looked at his crew and said, "We must go to Yalara. Someone needs us there. We cannot turn away." His crew agreed without hesitation. They prepared the ship for the journey. The Horizon moved quickly through the stars, crossing the wide space to reach Yalara. Meanwhile, on Yalara, Lyra waited. Her hope was like a small flame in the dark, ready to go out. She did not know if anyone would come. The Empire's patrol ships flew over her planet, but they ignored the message. They had no interest in the sick or the weak. When the human ship appeared in the sky, it was like a miracle. The people of Yalara gathered, watching with surprise and curiosity. Jack's ship was different. It did not look like the Empire's warships. It was smaller, but it moved with purpose. Jack landed his ship carefully. He stepped out and looked at the faces around him. The people were tired and scared, but they saw something new, hope. Jack walked toward Lyra's home, carrying a small box of medicine. He smiled gently and said, "I heard your cry. I am here to help." Lyra's eyes filled with tears again, but this time they were tears of joy. She took the medicine and looked at Jack. "Thank you," she whispered. "You don't know what this means to me," Jack nodded. "We will do everything we can. Your baby will be safe." The medicine was strange to the people of Yalara. It came from Earth, from humans, but it was powerful. Jack carefully gave the medicine to Lyra's baby. Slowly, the baby's breathing began to improve. The small chest rose and fell with more strength. Other people watched this with hope. Maybe humans were different. Maybe they cared in ways the Empire never did, but the Empire did not like the human ship on Yalara. They sent patrol ships to block Jack's way. They told him to leave, saying, "This is not your place. You cannot interfere?" Jack looked at the Empire's ships without fear. He stood tall and said, "I came here to help. I will not leave until every sick child is safe." The people of Yalara whispered among themselves. They saw courage in the human captain's eyes. They had never seen such kindness from the Empire's leaders. That night, under the light of distant stars, Lyra watched her baby sleep peacefully for the first time in days. She held Jack's hand and said softly, "Thank you. You saved my child's life?" Jack smiled and looked up at the sky. He knew this was just the beginning. There were many more who needed help, and humans, with their heart and courage, would be there to answer the call. The morning sun rose slowly over the quiet planet Yalara. The sky was painted with soft shades of pink and gold. But even as the day began, a storm was growing in the hearts of many. Captain Jack stood outside his ship, the horizon, watching the Empire's patrol ships circling above. Their engines hummed loudly and their sharp shapes cast dark shadows on the ground. The Empire's commanders did not like the human presence here. They saw Jack as a troublemaker, someone who could upset their control. The patrol leader, a tall alien with cold eyes named Commander Valen, contacted Jack through a loudspeaker. His voice was harsh. "Human, leave this planet immediately. Your presence is not welcome. You interfere with the Empire's rules." Jack looked up calmly. He was not afraid. "I came to help the people of Yalara," he said firmly. "They are sick and need medicine. I will stay as long as I am needed." Commander Valen's voice grew colder. "You will obey or face the consequences." Jack smiled slightly. "Threats will not change my mind. I am here to save lives." The people of Yalara watched this tense exchange. Many whispered among themselves. No one had ever seen a human stand up so boldly to the Empire's forces. The Empire was known to crush anyone who disobeyed, but Jack's courage gave them hope. Lyra, the mother whose baby Jack had saved, stood near the crowd. Her eyes shone with gratitude and new hope. "Maybe," she thought, "this human is different. Maybe they will not leave us alone in our pain." Jack gathered a small group of helpers from his crew and the local people. Together, they planned how to deliver more medicine to those who needed it most. The Empire's patrol ships were blocking the main landing zones, so they had to find another way. "We will use the old tunnels beneath the city," Jack said. "They are hidden and no one watches there." The tunnels were dark and narrow, but they led deep into the heart of the planet where the sickest people lived. Jack and his team packed the medicine carefully into small containers and prepared to move out. Lyra offered to guide them through the tunnels. She knew the paths well. As they walked, she told Jack stories about her planet, its people, and their struggles. Jack listened with respect, learning more about the life beyond his own world. At one point, the group heard a low rumble. The Empire's patrol ships were searching for them, but they had no idea where the humans were going. Jack's team moved quickly and silently, keeping the medicine safe. Finally, they reached a hidden settlement where many families lived in poor conditions. The sickness had spread fast, and many children were weak and tired. Jack opened the medicine boxes and began giving the doses to the sick. He explained carefully how to use the medicine, even though the alien language was different. The people watched him with hope growing in their eyes. One boy, no older than 10, looked up at Jack and whispered, "Thank you." "You saved my sister?" Jack smiled warmly. "We are all connected. When one suffers, we all suffer." Word spread fast about the human who had brought medicine and refused to leave. More and more people came to seek help. Some were afraid of the Empire's wrath, but others believed that change was coming. Commander Valen was not happy. He called a meeting with other Empire officers. "This human is a threat," he said. "If we allow him to stay, others will follow. We must force him to leave." But some officers had doubts. They had seen the faces of the people healed by Jack's medicine. They had heard the hope in their voices. Slowly, a quiet question grew among them. Could the Empire's way be wrong? Back on Yalara, Jack met with Lyra and some local leaders. They talked about what could be done to help the planet in the long term. "The Empire ignores us," one leader said sadly. "They only care about power and control," Jack nodded. "People deserve better. I will not stop helping, no matter what." Lyra smiled for the first time in many days. "You have given us hope, Captain. You are not just a stranger. You are a friend." That night, as the stars shone brightly overhead, Jack sat quietly looking at the sky. He knew the Empire would try harder to stop him, but he was ready. The fight was not just about medicine. It was about kindness, courage, and the belief that every life mattered. And Jack was not alone. On Yalara, a small fire burned in the hearts of its people. It was the fire of hope, sparked by a human who dared to care. The days grew shorter, and the sickness on Yalara spread faster. Though Jack and his small team had brought some medicine, it was not enough. The Empire's control made it hard to get supplies, and the planet's people were losing hope again. Lyra's baby, now stronger from the first medicine, was still fragile. The little one needed more care. Lyra stayed close, watching every breath, every move, praying quietly for a miracle. Jack knew time was running out. More medicine was needed quickly. But the Empire's patrols blocked all regular routes. Supplies could not be flown in openly, and hidden paths were dangerous. One morning, as Jack prepared to meet with the local leaders, a sharp alarm rang from his ship. His crew rushed to the control room. "Captain," said Maya, the ship's medic, "we have a problem. A new sickness strain has appeared. It is worse and spreading fast." Jack's face grew serious. "How many affected?" "Hundreds, maybe more. We need stronger medicine. What we have is not enough." Jack felt a heavy weight in his chest. The mission was growing harder every day. But he would not give up. "We must act fast," he said. Firmly, "I will contact Earth for more medicine and advanced supplies. Until then, we do what we can here." Lyra joined Jack and the local leaders. They sat in a small room, worn but filled with determination. "We can help," Jack said. "But we must find a way to reach more people. The Empire blocks the skies, but we still have the tunnels. We will send teams through them to bring medicine to the farthest villages." The leaders nodded. They knew the risk, but they also knew that without action, many more lives would be lost. Jack organized small groups, including some brave Yalaran volunteers, to carry medicine through the tunnels. Each group carried what they could, moving quietly and carefully to avoid Empire patrols. One group, led by Lyra herself, moved toward a distant village. The baby in her arms was weak, but alive. The journey was long and difficult. The tunnels were dark, cold, and sometimes dangerous. But Lyra's hope kept her going. Meanwhile, back on the horizon, Jack sent a message to Earth. He waited anxiously for a reply. Days passed. The sickness worsened. Families in the villages watched helplessly as their children grew weak. Finally, a reply came. Earth was sending a large shipment of medicine and new technology to fight the sickness. But it would take time to arrive. Jack shared the news with the people. "Help is coming," he said. "We must hold on." In the tunnels, Lyra's group reached the village. The people there were frightened and tired. Many had lost hope. When Lyra showed the medicine, tears filled the villagers' eyes. For the first time in many days, they felt a small light of hope. Jack stayed on Yalara to help coordinate the efforts. He worked with Maya to learn more about the sickness and how to treat it better. One evening, as Jack and Maya studied the data, they found something surprising. "The sickness behaves strangely," Maya said. "It is like nothing we have seen before. But some parts respond well to earth medicine combined with local herbal treatments." Jack's eyes lit up. "We can try a new approach. Mix the best of both worlds." They began to prepare a new treatment plan. They trained local healers to use it. Slowly, the first signs of improvement appeared. Back in the village, Lyra's baby showed steady progress. The little one's breaths grew stronger, and the color returned to the cheeks. Lyra smiled with hope and relief, but the Empire was watching. Commander Valan was growing angry and impatient. He sent more patrol ships and troops to stop Jack and his teams. One day, a patrol ambushed one of the medicine groups in the tunnels. A fight broke out. The Yalaran volunteers fought bravely, but they were outnumbered. Jack rushed to help, leading a small rescue team. They arrived just in time, pushing back the patrol and saving the volunteers. The people of Yalara saw this courage and strength. They began to believe that maybe the humans could protect them. In the days that followed, Jack made a bold decision. He would openly challenge the Empire's blockade. He sent a message to Commander Valan. "You cannot stop us from helping those in need. If you block medicine, you are responsible for every life lost." The Empire replied with threats, but Jack stood firm. The struggle was not just about medicine anymore. It was about justice and care for all life. As the new medicine shipment finally approached Yalara, the people gathered to welcome it. Jack and Lyra stood together, ready to fight for their planet's future. The race for life was far from over. But with courage, hope, and the strength to stand against darkness, they knew they had a chance. The medicine shipment from Earth arrived at last. Jack stood on the landing platform of the horizon, watching as the large cargo crates were unloaded. It was a sign of hope for Yulara. The planet's people gathered around, their faces shining with excitement and relief. The Empire's patrol ships still circled overhead, but this time their presence felt less threatening. The people had seen what humans could do. They had seen kindness and courage. Lyra stood close to Jack, holding her baby, who was now stronger and healthier. She smiled, her heart full of gratitude. "This is only the beginning," Jack said quietly. "We will not stop until everyone here has a chance to live well." As the medicine and supplies were distributed, Jack met with local leaders and healers. Together, they planned how to use the new tools to help as many people as possible. Word spread quickly through Yulara and beyond. Other planets, also under the Empire's control, heard about the human who had brought medicine and hope. Slowly, messages of support and requests for help began to arrive. One day, Jack received a message from a neighboring planet, Carolus. The people there were suffering too, and they wanted to join forces with Yulara and the humans. Jack gathered his team and local leaders for a meeting. "This is our chance," he said. "We can build a new alliance, a group of planets and people who work together for the good of all. We will show the Empire that kindness and cooperation are stronger than fear." Lyra nodded. "Together we are stronger. We can protect each other." The leaders agreed. They began to send envoys and messages to other nearby planets, inviting them to join the alliance. The Empire noticed this growing movement. Commander Valen warned his superiors. "If we do not act quickly, this alliance will weaken our control. We must stop them." But many Empire officers were unsure. They had seen how the people of Yulara and other planets were inspired by the humans. Some quietly questioned their own loyalty to the Empire. Meanwhile, Jack and his team trained the local people in new medical techniques and defensive skills. They prepared for the Empire's possible attacks but hoped for peace. Lyra became a leader among her people. She shared her story of hope and survival, inspiring many to believe that change was possible. One evening, a group of envoys from Carolus arrived on Yulara. Their leader, a wise alien named Solara, met with Jack. "We have watched your work with hope," Solara said. "Our people suffer too. We want to join your alliance." Jack smiled. "Together we can build a future where no one is left behind." The alliance grew quickly. Planets that once lived in fear began to feel strength and unity, but the Empire was not ready to give up. They planned a surprise attack to crush the alliance before it could grow stronger. Jack and the leaders learned of the plan through their spies. They prepared their defenses and warned the people. When the Empire's ships arrived, they were met with unexpected resistance. The alliance's combined forces, led by Jack and local leaders, fought bravely. The battle was fierce but short. The Empire's forces were surprised by the alliance's strength and unity. They retreated, leaving the planets free. At least for now, the people celebrated their victory. For the first time, they felt the power of standing together. Jack stood beside Lyra, watching the stars. "This victory is not just ours," he said. "It belongs to everyone who believes in hope and courage." Lyra smiled, her baby sleeping peacefully in her arms. "We will keep fighting. For our children and for the future." The new alliance promised a brighter tomorrow, a future where no one would have to beg in tears to be heard. The sun rose gently over the planet Yulara, shining on a world forever changed. The alliance Jack had helped build had grown stronger. Planets once silent under the Empire's heavy hand now spoke with hope and courage. Lyra stood outside her home, watching children play freely in the open fields. Her baby, now healthy and strong, ran with laughter that warmed her heart. The memory of tears and fear felt far away, like a distant shadow in the past. Jack walked beside her, looking at the thriving village. "We have come a long way," he said softly, "but our work is not done." The alliance had not only brought medicine, but also knowledge, peace, and a chance for new beginnings. Jack and his team worked with local leaders to build schools, hospitals, and farms. They shared Earth's technology and learned from the unique strengths of each planet. One evening, Jack received a message from the leaders of the Empire. It was unexpected, a request for peace talks. The Empire's rulers had seen the power of the alliance. They understood that fear and control could not stop a united people. It was time for a new way. Jack prepared to meet the Empire's representatives. He knew this was a chance to make lasting change. At the meeting, the Empire's leader spoke with respect. Your courage and kindness have opened our eyes. We want to find peace and work together. Jack nodded. Peace is the future we all deserve, but it must be built on respect and fairness. The talks lasted many days, with careful words and honest listening. Slowly, agreements were made. Borders were opened. Trade and culture began to flow freely. Yalara and its neighbors were free to grow, to heal, and to dream. Back in the village, Lyra and Jack watched as new homes rose and gardens bloomed. The people's smiles were brighter than ever. Your baby is the symbol of this new hope, Jack said. A life saved that shows what we can achieve. Lyra smiled, holding her child close. We owe it to everyone who stood with us, to every person who chose hope over fear. The alliance continued to grow, spreading kindness and courage across the stars. Jack knew that the journey had been hard, filled with danger and doubt. But the power of one human, answering a cry for help with open hands and a brave heart, had changed everything. As the stars twinkled above, a new future was born, a future where no one would ever have to beg for help alone.